beginning, before gods ruled the heavens and men walked the earth, there was the Demiurge, an entity of unknowns and a being of paradox, both creator and jailer, architect and tyrant. Unlike a benevolent deity who shapes the universe with love, the Demiurge constructs existence as a flawed imitation of a higher, unknowable reality. Across Gnostic texts, philosophical debates, and even modern fiction, this enigmatic figure has been reimagined as everything from a cosmic craftsman to the ultimate oppressor of free will. But who or what is the Demiurge? What is Gnosticism? And why does this ancient idea still haunt our understanding of reality today? Welcome to the Rumination Room. Today we will talk about the Demiurge and the idea of reality itself being an illusion. Our journey begins with Plato. In his dialogue Timaeus, Plato describes the universe as the work of a craftsman, the Demiurge. But unlike other later versions of this idea, which we will get into, Plato's Demiurge was a benevolent creator. He did not invent the world from nothing, he simply shaped it from pre-existing chaos, using the material world in its primal state. Think of him as a cosmic architect, not an all-powerful god, but a middleman between perfection and reality. To Plato, the Demiurge tried to make the world as beautiful and ordered as possible, but he was limited by the imperfections of material existence. Plato's ideas of the universal craftsman, and thus the Demiurge, is the connector of knowledge and imaginations, the through line between becoming resembling being, from A to E, bringing together all things of imagination, belief, thought, and knowledge, as in the analogy of the divided line described in his dialogue The Republic. If you don't fully understand that idea, you are not alone. It is a rather esoteric philosophical theory requiring quite a bit of explanation. Perhaps that will be another video. For now, we can understand Plato's Demiurge as the architect of this material reality, our world. Plato's idea included the thought that the Demiurge first crafted a set of lower gods, or archons, to assist in his shaping of reality, and with them molds the universe. These archons are usually thought to be the gods of the pantheon, including Zeus, or perhaps forces of thought and will preceding the pantheon itself. But as we said, the Demiurge was limited in materials in this crafting by the primal chaos of the beginning. Thus, it is the flawed medium that the Demiurge was forced to use in the creation of the universe that leads to the flaws of the universe itself, the flaws of suffering, pain, death, and even evil. Later writings of Plato expand on this idea, forming the concept of the monad, the one, the highest form of God, a boundless power and vitality. From the monad came the Demiurge, a mind or will that organized the world with its archons, a concept we will get back to very soon. But not everyone saw the Demiurge as a benevolent creator. In time, this figure transformed into something much more sinister. For the Gnostic theologians, the universe was not just flawed. It was a prison, and the Demiurge, he was its warden. The Gnostics were a religious movement that emerged in the early centuries of the Common Era, and in parallel with Orthodox Christianity. To the Gnostic Christians, the true divine source, the monad, existed beyond this corrupt material world, But the Demiurge, an ignorant and arrogant lower god, believed that he was the true creator. Gnostics called him Yaldabaoth, the Chaos Child, a being who, in his own ignorance, wove a false world and enslaved divine sparks, human souls, within it. Gnostic texts like the Apocryphon of John describe the Demiurge as a jealous and envious god, cut off from the true divine realm, the Pleroma. He and his archons, thought to be his demonic rulers, keep humanity blind, distracting them with desires, suffering, and false promises, in an illusion of reality. To escape, one must awaken, gain Gnosis, a hidden knowledge that reveals the illusion of the material world and allows the soul to return to the divine realm. For Gnostic Christians, Jesus Christ showed humans the path of Gnosis, enlightenment, and the path towards escaping the Demiurge and returning to the divine realm of God. Regardless, for Gnostic theology, the Demiurge was not benevolent in kind, but ignorant to the truth of their own existence, and became envious and jealous of the divine spark of humanity, entrapping it inside a false universe of the material world. This Demiurge, being ignorant of the Pleroma and the true god Monad, provides an answer to the problem of evil, the concept of trying to reconcile the existence of evil in a universe created by an all-loving, all-powerful God. The Demiurge's ignorance, its lack of omniscience, brings about the flaw of evil in its creation. The ideas surrounding the Demiurge and its identity do not stop with the belief of it simply being ignorant or flawed, and instead move to the thought of this entity being truly evil. In some interpretations, the Demiurge is a malevolent force that delights in keeping souls trapped. Some sects, like Valentinianism and Sethianism, seen as heretical by the Christian churches of today, equated the Demiurge with the God of the Old Testament, Yahweh, a jealous, envious, and wrathful deity, one that was not loving but demanding of worship, sacrifices, praise, and reverence, and punishing those who seek knowledge or freedom, attempting to stop humans from gaining the knowledge between good and evil. Other esoteric traditions like Hermeticism and certain strands of Kabbalah expand on this idea. They see the Demiurge as a gatekeeper, an entity preventing humanity from ascending to higher levels of reality. In these beliefs, the Demiurge and his archons are the evil of the universe, separating humanity from the divine realm in hatred and envy. The Demiurge is not only a false god in these beliefs, he is the enemy, a jailer who has locked the souls of man in a prison of reality, an illusion, and does all that he can to prevent humans from learning the truth. This puts the Demiurge in a strange relationship with the devil. Some sects seeing the devil as one of the archons crafted by the Demiurge, some seeing the Demiurge as a face of the devil himself. This places the Demiurge and his creations in a perpetual opposition to the humans of the world. Thus, Gnostic Christianity sets the delineating belief of different gods from the Old and New Testament. Yahweh, Yaldabaoth, the Demiurge of the Old Testament, and the true High God, the Father of the New Testament. They refer to biblical scripture as reasons to bolster their idea further. A Valentinian scholar, Heraclion, exemplifies this idea with an interpretation in the Gospel of John, chapter 4, verse 21. And he views the mountain in this verse as Satan, the material world, and Jerusalem and Judaism as the Demiurge, the false god. Thus, the Father as the true God in the Pleroma. In the Gnostic perspective, there are other biblical references that can be said to point towards this idea as well. There is the wording used in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, "Let us make mankind in our image," implying multiple deities at early creation, as well as Psalm 82, "God, Elohim, presides in and among the assembly. He renders judgment among the Elohim, gods." Elohim, a divine word implying both a plural or singular use depending on the context, but Psalm 82 implies there's more than one divine being, almost implying a pantheon of Judeo-Christian deities. For Gnostic theology, it is explained as these gods, or Elohim, being the Demiurge and his archons. Either way, the Gnostics see this as providing biblical backing to this idea. Further, older Jewish ideas such as that of Sheol of the Old Testament are explained by this concept as well. Sheol being the afterlife of all souls in ancient Jewish theology, the afterlife concept predating the ideas around heaven and hell in current Orthodox belief. Sheol was a dark, gray place of the spirit, an afterlife separate from the body, and even to be separated from Yahweh as well. This early Judaic concept of Sheol is very similar to the Orthodox Catholic ideas surrounding limbo, but Gnostic Christians have a different explanation for this concept. This Sheol would be for those humans that did not escape the prison of the Demiurge, the souls that failed to follow the enlightenment of Christ and allow their divine spark to return to the true high God among the heaven in Pleroma. Without Gnosis, a soul does not escape the Demiurge prison, and they rest in Sheol instead. Surely, you can see why the current Orthodox Christianity sees this as heresy. If all these ideas sound familiar, it's because they should. The Matrix seems to show strong connections with and possibly took direct inspiration from Gnostic ideas. But deeper dives into Gnostic thought of Jesus, creation, and the Matrix perhaps will be separate videos. Regardless, in the current day, the idea of a demiurge-like being and its created prison still shows up in the human psyche in various forms. Simulation theory, Black Mirror, Dark City, The Truman Show, the idea that reality itself is a construct designed to keep us from knowing the truth. Philip K. Dick, the legendary sci-fi writer, believed that we were living in a false world. He called it the Black Iron Prison Theory, a reality controlled by an oppressive force. His novels, like Valis, mirror these Gnostic ideas. Today, kids on the playground argue not if cuties truly exist, but if reality truly exists. If we are but Sims characters in a bad playthrough. If we are an advanced Minecraft world with ultra-high graphics. The internet is joking constantly that the simulation is breaking. Humankind still has an itching fear and idea that maybe this world that we see, smell, touch, and experience isn't truly reality. And we express that through our stories and our media, capturing the imaginations of millions of fellow humans in the process. Humans have these ideas now, today, same as we've had them in thousands of years in the past, and perhaps thousands of years even before that. And maybe this is a persistent thought in our collective minds for a reason. So, is this world a prison crafted by the Demiurge? Is this universe crafter a good being, an ignorant entity, or an evil god? Is there a way out of the prison? Are we meant to embrace reality as it is, flaws and all? Or are we meant to wake up, to break free from the illusion and seek something beyond? The questions remain, and perhaps it's up to you to answer them. I truly hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already for discussions on myths, legends, and folklore, and as always, thank you, listeners.